What's happening, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of An American in Poland. Today, we're going to ask the question, is Poland safe? There was a post recently on Facebook which kind of prompted this whole question, in which someone asked or made the statement that, Poland is the Mexico of Europe. Now, not disparaging Mexico, but there are some pretty major differences between Mexico and Poland. And when I asked this person to expand upon their idea, they said, oh, well, there's, rampant crime and corrupt government and, prostitutes on the streets. And I'm like, wow, you haven't been to Poland. So I decided to go out onto the street and ask the Polish people that are living here every day, do they feel safe? And, if you ask Americans that same question in the cities, over 90% of them will say no, that they don't feel safe walking by themselves, or that their neighborhood is not a safe place to be. So it's a little tough for an American to throw stones on this one. So anyways, let's head out and we'll talk to a few people and see what the general consensus is. All right, guys, so we are now with Maya and Olivia. Welcome.
Hi.
So now, the big question, is Poland safe? Like, when you go walking down the street here in Pugieska or in your part of town, do you feel safe doing so?
I actually live near Poznań in a smaller town, and I actually feel pretty safe here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I asked her, and it's safe also.
Safe also. Now, how about, I know you guys are still young, not quite the club age and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but if you're going out with, say, your girlfriends at night, going to the movies, things like that, how do you feel then?
When you're in a bigger group, you definitely feel safer.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was to go alone, in the night, I wouldn't go. I definitely wouldn't go alone.
Okay.
Me also. Yes,
I think this is normal. This
Yeah.
is, this is a natural human thing, no matter where you're from. Now, would you be surprised to know that Poland is actually one of the safest countries in all of Europe?
I heard that. I read that
I'm
somewhere.
sure about that. Yes, so
From our perspective, it might be surprising, but we are aware that there are some European countries or cities that are much more dangerous in some ways.
All right, so first up, we've got a new friend, Michał, here, and we'd like to welcome him to An American in Poland. And so, Michał, if you had to say whether Poland is a safe place for pretty much everybody, what would your response be? Do you think that Poland is a safe place to live?
Well, it's tough to say for me, as someone who lived here all my life. So I don't really have that kind of perspective of an outsider, right?
Mm-hmm.
But even despite some groups that have some prejudice against certain, groups of people,
Yep.
I feel like on a daily basis, on a day-to-day basis, I think it's a pretty safe place to be.
Now,
at least right now.
if your sister wanted to go out at night, with either by herself or with a group of girls, would that be a problem?
No, I don't think so. I mean, of course, it depends on the kind of neighborhood
Oh,
that
of
you
course.
go to, right?
Yeah.
But in general, if you want to go to city center at night, I don't think there's any trouble that you can expect. Of course, there will be some people who, inebriated, partying and stuff like that. But as far as any danger of being mugged or attacked or anything like that, I mean, I haven't really experienced anything like that in my life, and neither any of my friends.
Now, if you're liking this type of video and this type of content, please do me a huge favor. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to have notifications turned on, and check back here at An American in Poland, as we're putting up new content all the time. Anyways, let's get back to it. All right, guys, so we're here with Ryan and Maya, and so you guys are traveling through Poland right
Yeah.
now.
Yes,
Where are you from?
I am from Cologne, Germany.
Okay.
I'm from Mainz, Germany,
Uh-huh.
near Frankfurt.
Now, what cities have you been to in Poland so far?
We've been to,
We started in Wrocław
yeah,
Okay.
and then Krakow
Yep.
and then Łódź and now here.
Uh-huh. And especially you, as a woman, do you feel safe here in Poland?
Well, depends on the city. Gotta say, in Poznan it's pretty good, I would
Yeah.
say. Because, I mean, you see people walking around alone.
yeah, especially young people.
yeah.
You see a lot of young people in Poznan.
But like in Łódź and Wrocław, not at all, really. I
Really?
was so happy I was not alone.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
It's been interesting. I've noticed kind of the same thing for myself.
Yeah.
I noticed that like Krakow is extremely safe feeling.
Yeah.
You know.
Super relaxed. We've been to, I think, maybe one neighborhood that was a bit shady, and maybe some lights were broke, city lights and everything. And then it immediately feels kind of tense, even though it isn't. It could be
Yep.
the best neighborhood if it's pitch black.
Yep.
It's always kind of
100%.
uncomfortable.
100%.
But then again, during the day and everything, it was completely fine and nice. But we haven't been that far into the outskirts in Krakow as we've been in the other cities. And the further you travel from the touristic center, the more you feel like stuff is just not as well restorated anymore. And
Yeah.
depending on where you come from, you feel like nice buildings mean safe, and not so nice buildings means, oh, this might be dangerous here.
Yeah.
And if you're kind of sensitive for not well restorated buildings, some areas of Poland might feel strange.
Now, how do you feel comparative to, say, Germany? So
Oh.
your cities in Germany.
Well, she being from Mainz and me being from Cologne, I think we'll have a different approach on that, because Cologne is quite ugly. It's all newly built and everything, kind of very dirty. Poland is way cleaner than Germany in that point, and that feels very good to me. But we also don't have old houses and everything. So for me, every city in Poland basically is beautiful compared to my hometown. So
It was the same for me coming
Yeah.
from the United States. Now, how about you?
About feeling safe.
Do you, you said you're Frankfurt, right?
Near Frankfurt.
Near Frankfurt.
Small city.
Do you feel that Frankfurt or your area feels safer there or here?
I would say safer there, but that's mainly because I live there and it
Yeah.
doesn't feel strange.
It's what you know.
So, yeah, it's what I know, and I feel comfortable there, and I feel that if something happens, I know how to get help, or like, I have people around, I can call somebody. Like here and in a different country, it's always
A little more challenging.
dangerous.
Yeah. Now, all right, guys. So now we're with Malvina and Olga, and so what do you guys think? Is it a safe city to walk around here in Poznan for a woman?
I think
Surely.
if you're like in the center of the city, then surely yeah, because there are like a lot of people around
And the nightlife is really rich. You're never alone on the streets.
yeah. But like I think like in the outer parts of Poznan, it may be more dangerous, like where like in the dark streets or something. But mostly I feel
Yeah,
safe
I
here.
feel really safe here, and I've been living here all my life. And I've never really had a negative experience with anyone that would make me afraid to not go out at night.
Yeah, we usually go back home like at 10 p.m., 11
Okay.
p.m. and like I'm not scared to walk
at
alone
all.
at night. Yeah.
See, that's fantastic. Would it surprise you to know that most Americans don't feel the same?
No, it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, and I absolutely wouldn't want to live in the United States ever.
There's a reason
As a-
I moved
as
to
a
Poland,
woman.
you know. Even as a man, it's not. The cities aren't necessarily the safest place.
Like
You know,
the
there's-
gun law, like
it's not even so much. It's the guns. We have a lot of problems with
Drug
like
epidemic also.
drug epidemic, and people getting stabbed and robbed for their money, and it's just the cities in the U.S. are not the friendliest places to be. You know, luckily I'm from I'm from the country. You know, out in
a very small village, so I didn't have this problem. But now, if you travel throughout Poland, like maybe going to Wrocław or Warszawa or something like this, do you still feel the same way? Do you still feel safe?
Yeah,
Yeah, like
definitely.
maybe on the east it's like
Yeah,
more dangerous, but
The
we
east
don't-
border especially,
Yeah.
so Podlaskie.
I think part of that's a lot of what's going on in the past
Ukraine,
in
yeah.
Ukraine and
Russia.
the Belarus and with Russia, and I think that's it's not abnormal.
Yeah.
Now, would it surprise you to know that Poland is one of the safest countries in all of Europe?
No, I don't think
no,
so.
like-
And also, we're really homogenous. We're keeping our borders really closed for immigrants, and I don't want to sound xenophobic because I'm not. And it's a very complex and just a difficult issue. But I think the fact that we're an extremely homogenous community, just completely like 99% just Slavic white people, it also contributes to the fact that there is a little bit maybe less violence.
I think that there's something to this, and I don't think that it's xenophobic or anything. Even as being an immigrant myself, granted, I fit in here. I look the part, and when I speak Polish, people, they don't think anything else. So it's easier for me than say somebody from Africa or the
Yeah.
Middle East. But I think that cultural homogenization is important, and keeping your country as your country is important as well. So I think that does provide a lot towards security. So thank you girls very much for your time, and I hope you have a great day.
You too.
Now, one thing I find really interesting is that when you Google, is Poland safe? Or what is the safest countries in Europe? Poland doesn't come up, which I find really interesting. And I found the basis for that. And it's because it is based on opinion polls and based on news agencies reporting is typically what you're finding. Whereas if you go to Eurostat, which is the fact-finding arm of the European Commission, there they do show that Poland has the fourth lowest violent crime rate out of any country in Europe, which I think is fantastic. Now, one thing I do want to say is not everybody I spoke to today had as positive a outlook on Poland. I talked to a few groups of young people who had experienced or seen some type of crime, and it's kind of jaded their outlook, which is understandable. They didn't want to be put on video, so that's why I only have what I have. But, I did talk to quite a few people today, and the majority, I think there was, probably 30 different people that I talked to today. Not most of them, as you can see, didn't want to be filmed. But out of that 30, I think there was probably 4 people total who had a negative view of Poland. And even at that, they said, I don't want to say that it's not safe. I've just seen incidents. So it's interesting, to say the least. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please do me a huge favor. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on notifications, and make sure you hop back here to An American Poland the next time we get a video out, which hopefully be sooner than this one was. I apologize for the long wait. But anyhow, na razie, dziękuję bardzo, and we'll see you soon.